Autumn Equinox 2025, when the world tilts toward balance, global shifts, harvests, and hidden geopolitics. Imagine this, right now, as you're watching this, the Earth is tilting just so, 23.5 degrees off its axis, sending the sun on a slow southward drift across the sky. Day and night? They're locked in perfect balance. Welcome to the autumnal equinox, folks. It's September 22nd, 2025, and the Northern Hemisphere is officially tipping into fall. But hold up, this isn't just some poetic changing of the leaves. In a world gripped by climate chaos, energy wars, and harvest-dependent economies, this equinox is a geopolitical pivot point. Today on our newsroom, your go-to for faceless deep dives into global news and current affairs, we're unpacking how one astronomical blip reshapes everything from Michigan's clocks to China's moon festivals, and why it matters for the power plays ahead. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. We drop unfiltered breakdowns like this every week. And stick around, because by the end, you'll have rituals to celebrate that could just spark your next big conversation. Let's dive in. First things first, what the heck is this equinox, anyway? Picture the Earth as a slightly wobbly top, spinning on an axis that's perpetually leaning toward the sun like it's got a cosmic crush. That 23.5 degree tilt. It's the reason we have seasons at all. As our planet orbits the sun over 365 days, that tilt makes the sun's rays hit different parts of the globe more directly at different times. Come summer in the north, we're basking in the spotlight. By fall, the beam's shifting south. Today, at precisely 2:20 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, that's 1820 Greenwich Mean Time for my international viewers, the sun crosses the celestial equator. That's this imaginary line in the stars, basically Earth's equator projected into space. Boom, equal daylight and darkness, about 12 hours each, give or take a few minutes depending on where you are. The word equinox comes from Latin, equus for equal, nox for night, and it's spot on. Sun rises due east, sets due west, like nature's own perfectly balanced seesaw. But here's the kicker, this isn't some abstract star party. In the Northern Hemisphere, that's most of Europe, North America, Asia, we're sliding into autumn. Days shorten, nights lengthen, temperatures dip. By the winter solstice on December 21st, we'll be deep in the dark. Meanwhile, our friends down under in the Southern Hemisphere? They're popping champagne for spring's arrival. It's a global handoff of seasons, reminding us how interconnected, and unequal, our world really is. Think about it, while we're bundling up, Australian farmers are planting, and that ripples through global supply chains. More on that geopolitical angle later. For now, grab your coffee, or tea, if you're feeling autumnal, and let's zoom in on what this means stateside. Let's ground this in the heartland, Michigan, where the equinox hits like a fresh breeze off Lake Superior. Today, at 2:19 p.m. local time, fall officially kicks off astronomically. Don't confuse it with meteorological fall, which nerds like meteorologists clock starting September 1st and running through November 30th, that's for stats, not poetry. No, this is the real deal, leaves turning, air crisping, and yes, the inevitable march toward shorter days. Speaking of which, brace yourselves, America, daylight saving time, note, it's saving, not savings, ends November 2nd. That's when we fall back, turning clocks back an hour at 2 a.m. Why? Back in the early 1900s, it was all about saving energy, more evening light for farmers and factory workers, less need for lamps. Fast forward to 2025, and it's a relic that's equal parts genius and gripe. In Michigan, expect those golden hour sunsets to stretch a bit longer come spring, but right now, we're losing about 2 minutes of daylight a day. By equinox's end, it'll feel like the sun's punching out early. Local vibe? Picture Detroit's skyline glowing under ember leaves, or Ann Arbor buzzing with tailgate season. But it's not all pumpkin spice lattes. Shorter days mean mood dips for some. Seasonal affective disorder is real, hitting 5% of Americans hard. And energy bills? They spike as we crank the heat. Michigan's got its share of grid strains too, with that brutal polar vortex memory from winters past. Globally, this ties into bigger fights. Europe ditching DST by 2026 amid energy crunches from the Ukraine war, while the US Congress dithers on year-round daylight saving. Is it time to sync our clocks, or our policies? Drop your thoughts in the comments. DST forever or scrap it? Now, let's go global, because current affairs don't stop at the border. The equinox isn't just a US thing, it's a planetary pulse point, woven into cultures that shape geopolitics. In China, it's mid-autumn festival time, lanterns glowing, families feasting on mooncakes under the harvest moon. That's not fluff, it's soft power. Beijing uses these traditions to rally the diaspora, from San Francisco's Chinatown to Sydney's streets, countering Western narratives in the U.S. China trade Cold War. Over in Greece, echoes of ancient thesmophoria linger, women-only harvest rites honoring Demeter and Persephone, goddess of the underworld. Fast forward, it's a reminder of food sovereignty in a world where Ukraine's grain blockade still starves Africa. And don't get me started on indigenous perspectives. Native American tribes across the US and Canada mark this as a time of gratitude and preparation, aligning with treaties over land and resources that echo in today's climate summits. But how do you celebrate in 2025's hustle? Vogue's got the playbook, and it's equal parts ritual and real talk. Start with a pickling party. Yeah, you heard that right. Round up friends, jars, and seasonal bounty, figs, squash, apples, wild mushrooms. It's not just fun, it's ancestral smarts. Ancient folks preserved like this to survive winters, a hack that's gold in our era of supply chain snarls from Red Sea disruptions. Channel Noma's Pablo Soto, brine it, ferment it, feast on it. Pro tip, pair with a cider toast to the equinox's balance, light and dark, chaos and calm. Feeling spiritual? Build an equinox altar. Forage leaves, nuts, berries, add candles for flicker, personal tokens for intention. Sofia Rivera Garcia Granado suggests cempasúchil flowers for light, chrysanthemums for grit, roses for renewal. It's a mini mandala of gratitude, perfect for reflecting on 2025's wild ride, elections, AI arms races, Arctic thaws exposing new trade routes. Place it by your window tonight, watch the sunset due west, a rare equinox gift. Want to go deeper? Visit ancestors' graves with offerings, flowers, fruits, even black coffee spiked with 3 sugars, per house witch's page curtain. In a year of migration crises and border walls, this honors the unseen threads binding us. Or pull tarot cards, 3 draws for the season past, the pivot now, the path ahead. Jen Kosh says check back at solstice, track your wins amid global flux. And for pure magic? A moonlight bath. Deborah Hainkamp, queen of ritual baths, says strip down under the stars, blanket wrapped, or tub it up with salt, rose quartz, calendula tea. Offer apples or petals to the night. It's cleansing, literally sloughing off summer's sweat, figuratively ditching grudges. In geopolitical terms, think of it as personal diplomacy, balancing your inner hemispheres before the world's next tilt. Picnic under the stars. Host a starlight harvest. Blankets, lanterns, natural wines, pomegranates sliced open like ruby secrets, grapes bursting sweet, figs earthy, apples crisp. Sourdough, cheeses, your homemade preserves. Carolyn Brown of Indigo Wellness calls it a nod to global feasts, China's moon gazing, Greece's Demeter dances. As nights lengthen, stargazing amps up too. Space.com shouts out the Sealstron Next Star 4 SE telescope for newbies. Snag one and hunt constellations while pondering, how does this cosmic clock tick against our 24/7 news cycle? Fashion forward. Valeriola from the Well says swap linens for wool, sandals for boots, but sage smudge those summer duds first. Set fall intentions, resilience like chrysanthemums. Wellness win, moon bathe weekly, ground daily. It's all about that equinox equilibrium. But let's crank the lens to current affairs, because seasons aren't neutral, they're strategic. This equinox heralds harvest in the north, and in 2025, that's a battlefield. Global food prices are up 10% from last year, per UN reports, thanks to droughts in the US Midwest and floods in Pakistan. Michigan's apple orchards? They're feeding export deals amid U.SEU trade spats over tariffs. Shorter days mean earlier farm wraps, straining labor from migrant programs, think H-2A visas caught in election rhetoric. Energy geopolitics? Fall's chill cranks heating demands, spiking natural gas flows from Russia's shadows to Qatar's LNG tankers. Europe's weaned off Moscow's pipes post-Ukraine, but prices volatility could ignite new alliances, or conflicts. And climate change? It's messing with equinox math. NASA's data shows hemispheres tilting unevenly now, with Arctic ice melt opening shipping lanes that Beijing eyes hungrily, while Washington fortifies Alaska. The autumnal shift? It's a warning, our planet's balance is fraying, and superpowers are racing to redraw the map. Stargazing ties into, longer nights mean more eyes on the sky, from amateur astronomers to satellite trackers. In a space race heating up, with Starlink beaming news to war zones and China's lunar base dreams, this equinox whispers, look up, because the stars are the next frontier of influence. So, how do you harness this? Tonight, step outside at sunset, due west, remember. Breathe in the balance. Try one ritual, that altar, that bath, that picnic. Share your pics on social with hashtag Equinox Affairs, tag us, we'll repost the best. And globally, support fair trade harvests, buy local, but think global. Donate to food security orgs like the World Food Program, they're battling the ripples of these seasonal swings. As we wrap, remember, the equinox isn't an end, it's equilibrium. In 2025's turmoil, from Taiwan tensions to 30 Colombian pesos climate talks, it's a call to steady ourselves. Day equals night, but choice? That's ours. What will you balance this fall? Thanks for joining the dive. Like if this sparks something, subscribe for more on the world's wild turns, and comment your equinox ritual below. Until next time, stay curious, stay global. Fade to black.